Hey folks, welcome to the Streamers Can Start and Play 5 minutes of intro music, and then we'll get into it. So, enjoy. All right, folks. Let's get started then. I'm Ninja Kitty. Hey. And I play Improv piano, which mostly just means I play whatever comes to mind. That's generally what we get. But today I'm going to remember to say my intro properly after 34 episodes. Sorry. I'm good. Right, what was I doing? Alright, I was starting. Today we are playing Midi Minecraft. So basic rundown. I'm a hooligan who wrote a piece of code that converts my MIDI keyboard signals into key presses for my computer, which lets us then play Minecraft. The goal is to beat Minecraft. I'm good at this. Blightfall. The goal is to beat Blightfall at 1.7.10 Minecraft mod pack while playing the best music we can. So, we got a lot of work to do still. Last time we were in this game, I'm gonna start getting it boot up now, and then we'll have it all ready for later. Haha. I'm smart every once in a while. Like when I wrote this mod pack, but not before. What was I doing? Alright. Sorry, I am very lost. I did not take my medicine until much later than I meant to today. I am bouncing off the walls and tired. It's a good combination. Last time we were working toward, we ended on trying to get our pulverizer. If you recall, we got our wool farm set up. We were making some Fabrico in the machine. We had way too much wood. Yeah, we spent most of the last time getting the wool machine working. So we're moving toward getting that lapis, which means we need the pulverizer. Pulverizer is one of the fundamental machines in a pretty famous mods series, I guess, called thermal expansion. Thermal expansion, yeah, most people know about thermal expansion if you've been playing modded Minecraft. But the basic rundown is the pulverizer in the beginning, and including these versions, usually takes ore and pulverizes them into powdered ore, but you get two material per block of ore. Ooh, ah. So, which was, again, good. But what's more is that you can now mix these powders into alloys, or alloyed powders, and or put them in the alloy smelter to create alloys. So it adds alloys such as electrum and invar, and a couple made up ones like enderium. So yes, we care about the pulverizer because the pulverizer also can take apart wool and give us the lapis, which is acting as the blue dye in this version of Minecraft. So, what I was going to say last time was this idea of machine, what are those things called? Machine casings? Oh no, it's the base thing that you build all the thermal expansion machines off of. And although the recipes vary a little bit from version to version, this concept is pretty old within the series, where there are different tiers of machines. In 1.7.10, how this functions is you have to you take the machine and you craft it again in the crafting table with the new materials, and it upgrades into a higher version of that same machine. Those higher versions can hold more power, operate faster, and I want to say they're more efficient with energy, but I don't remember. They also can get more upgrades and higher level upgrades, which are useful for output and speed and power efficiency and stuff. So it's a whole little system. You can build these machines with the upgrades to start with, because we'll start with a basic machine case or frame, machine frame. I think they are frames. And we will, for our pulverizer, and I might upgrade it because the first one is hardened. They each have a phrase. So hardened is when you add invar to things. And we got invar, so I might upgrade it pretty soon when we get it. But anyways, so that is what I was going to say at the end of the last time, is that frames and thermal expansion machines in general all have these kind of tiers. I will quickly note that the important machines that we will want going forward are, of course, the pulverizer, for the reasons I stated. We will want an induction smelter, which is that alloy smelter thing I was talking about, the induction smelter. It's used for making certain types of things a lot easier, as well as making those alloys, which is very good for progression in that pack. I will probably skip the redstone furnace, which is a power-driven furnace, but because it just has too much charcoal. Other than that, those are the main two. I might also get a magma crucible and a fluid transposer. Magma crucibles liquefy materials, and fluid transposers take the liquid materials and turn them into, either put them in items, which is very important for creating, what is it? Because the energy cells go leadstone, hardened, can't remember what the next one is. It's like electron. It's the electron one. Anyways, you can't make it unless you put resonant. No wait, not resonant ender. Resonant ender is the third one, which is also fluid transposer required. Anyways, you dump fluids into things using the fluid transposer, including buckets. So, hey, Explorer of Music, it's good. I am ranting about the progression of thermal expansion series machines and why we might want them. But I think we should hop into it. There you go. Yeah. So yes, we'll hopefully be able to get our hands on a pulverizer by probably the halfway mark of the stream. I'd imagine we're not that far from it. I made a gear and a gear mold. So by base, you have to make gears with a single iron ingot and 4 of the material in the cardinal directions in a crafting table. But I made a tin gear that way, and I used that gear to make a mold. So using Tinker's construct, there's a compatibility between them, where you can make a mold for a gear, and then you can just use 4 of the material without using that extra iron. So efficient. Anyways, but we'll hop into it here, so enjoy. Alright, folks, we are right here about at the halfway point, so I'm gonna go take a break for a moment. And we'll talk a little bit more about like what I'm planning on, how we got what's next here. We did manage to get ourselves the pulverizer, actually kind of close to the 30-minute mark, which is very good. So so yeah. And so we'll talk a little bit more about things when I get back. So, but I'm going to play one of these older ones because I didn't have time today to record something new. So you'll hear one of the ones I did previously. But enjoy some music while I run off and take a break. Oh, right. It's, hello, I'm back. um, so, what's next? Um, so remember, we're trying to get ourselves the lapis we need to get the Elfheim portal. So as part of that, I need to start automating a bunch of other stuff. Namely, we have way too much wood. The wood box is full, pretty much. That filled up a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. I always forget how efficient those farms are. So I might tell them to do less trees. But so what I'm doing right now is I'm creating these. I think they're called ender chests or something. Anyways, these boxes have 3 slots in them, or 3x3 slots. So they're 9 slots inventory, kind of like a dropper or a dispenser. But what's special about them is that they have channels. So there's 3 little color things on their top, which are all set to the same color based on the type of wool that you use in the crafting recipe. But if you use dye on one of those little notches, it will dye that channel, right? So you get 16 times to the power of 3 possibilities for color combinations. So lots of good options. Every channel, again, all the boxes that have that channel have the same contents. So if I put an item into the box one place, I can take it out somewhere else, which is really nifty. There's also ender tanks, which do that with liquid. And there is also ender bags, which connect to the ender chests. So yeah, what we're currently doing is we're going to create 2 channels. One that's a brown one for wood, and one that's black for charcoal. And then we're going to create a little furnace setup that will take in the wood and take in charcoal from the charcoal box, and then output to the charcoal box, thus pulling in wood and spitting out charcoal. Then we can make more charcoal boxes wherever we need them, and extract charcoal or even wood, wherever we need it later. So it's a pretty good method for piping around lots of material that you need without creating huge lines across the whole base. The upshot being that it takes 4 blaze rods, an ender pearl, 2 obsidian, a chest, and a piece of wool to make each one of them. So that's why it's so important that we get a source of ender pearls and blaze rods. Is these boxes are extremely useful, but they're kind of expensive if you don't have access to those kind of supplies. But again, we have tons, so we're just going to hop in and make a whole bunch of them and start automating. So should be fun. We'll get our first little automation setup that actually creates something new rather than just gathering base resources. So should be pretty good. And yeah, that's we'll get that done. And then I'm going to start on to trying to build some endo flames. Endo flames take in burnable material and spit out mana. So I'm going to use that with one of those mana to RF converters to then power the pulverizer. So that's kind of where we're heading, and yeah, we'll hop into it. So enjoy. All right, folks, that's the end of our stream for today. So thanks for stopping by and saying hi. So yeah, we made a bunch of progress today. I'm tired. So yes, we managed to get our pulverizer. Good stuff. Yeah, so we got our pulverizer. There's a few last things, not a lot of stuff to go on the pulverizer. We then spent some time trying to get the ender chests. I did run around a little bit trying to figure out what to do. Yeah. Anyways, we came back. We finished the ender chests. We had to go down and get some obsidian and stuff. That took a while. But we did set up our automated charcoal production. So now we're automatically changing our bunch of our logs into charcoal, which is going into a charcoal box that we can access from anywhere, which is really good. To take advantage of that, I was going to make a bunch of endo flames, and I realized that I had like stacks and stacks of the Britannia flowers, so I just thought I'd grab a whole bunch and try that. So yeah, I ended up making half a stack of endo flames. So that took a lot of work, and that's what that whole like what that combination was, if anyone missed it. That first one, that's a right click. So we fill the thing full of water. We move up a hotbar. We right click with an empty hand, which resets the recipe inside the apothecary. So it's all ready to go again. And then we hit next one, right, next slot again. And then we drop in a seed, which actually makes the thing. Then we have 20 seconds to do the whole operation again. So we get back around to our slot with our bucket, bend down, grab some water, come back up, and then... And so yes, that's what that combination, it had to be done 32 times because every flower took an attempt, and I messed up the first few, so... But once we got into a roll. Anyways, so we have lots of endo flames now, and we have lots of charcoal, which will give us lots of mana, hopefully, which will give us the power we need to power some more technology going forward. In particular, I would like to have enough power to get an ME network up and running pretty well, because ME networks will let us hold lots and lots of stuff, including managing Essentia, which is really good because I always have these big old walls of Essentia containers, and I just can't do that this time. I can't do it. So so yes, we're going to go and try to fix it so that we don't need to worry too much about the setup of all the Essentia, which just can pipe into the system, and we don't have to worry. This will also allow and facilitate the automation of various items through the ME network, hopefully. And we'll hook in the boxes, right? So we'll be able to connect in all the various things through the teleportation boxes. So that will be pretty good too. So it's all starting to come together. We'll have lots of mana. If we need more mana, we're getting tons of wood. And if we need more wood, we can always add more trees. Because they'll just grow, right? They grow asynchronously. So the golems are just sitting around most of the time. So the more trees, the more wood. So if we start running out of charcoal, all we need to do is add more charcoal production units, which are just another chest and another hopper. Theoretically, we could exchange the hoppers, actually, come to think of it, for transfer nodes. And that way we would be able to save on boxes because they're kind of expensive. In the same way, right, so we can put in a transfer node on the main box and all the hoppers, and that will let us move items around really fast. So yes, lots of potential there for getting tons of charcoal and then running everything off of charcoal. That being our mana, which will become our power, and what we also have. What am I looking for? I think charcoal also has fire and potentia, which is one which we can turn into. I do know way too much. Because you need whatchamacalls them niter to produce golem cores, and those are useful for both golems, yes, which will then let us get stuff like infinite lava and a couple other really useful things that golems can do, but also they give us the dynamatic tablets, which let us right click automatically on things, so that's good for upping production on all sorts of things. So yeah, there's a lot to it, and there's a lot to think about. But put together, I think we're starting to make a lot of progress. Once we start getting any decent quantity of lapis, we need, what was it? Another 2 blocks, another 3-4 blocks of lapis. I can't remember. I have to go check again. But after that, we'll go and get ourselves like the world interaction upgrade stuff, so we can get like infinite cobblestone. And yeah, sorry, there's lots and lots of stuff to get to, and I'm super excited because there's some cool combinations that are going to propagate that I'm starting to see. So, as I was saying last time, we're building all these pillars, right? There is no, for the most part, there's not any money in this game. There is gold coins, which you get from loot bags, but you mostly just melt those into gold. The only type of currency that you have really in Blightfall is reputation. So as you complete the quests for the main part of the mod pack, you gain reputation. You lose 10 reputation per death. And if you run out of reputation too far, I think it's somewhere like negative 100 or something. Then you lose. So we don't want to lose. But you can also spend reputation to get stuff from the supplier. So that means we can order stuff like the machine bags are particularly useful. Like the machine bags, you can skip a long ways into tech progression if you get lucky on the machine bags. And actually, I'm heading somewhat for that, but we'll get to that next time, I think. We also get some, like when we need gold or iron tools, we can't make gold or iron tools or use gold or iron tools, so we have to get them from the supplier. Problematic. We can also re-energize energy cells through the supplier, which is really good. The larger the energy cell, the better the payback. So you can get a lot of power for a little bit of reputation once you get the high level energy cells. So that's pretty good. Though if we have a good enough energy production, it won't be that big of a deal. Let's see what else. Plants. The dome? No, I did not build the dome. The dome comes preset in the world. I built the big old mob grinder that's outside, out front. That took me 4 episodes. It's like 8 hours. Yeah, I built the mob grinder, and I built all the automated systems that you see, and the hole that goes all the way down into the mine, that's mostly already in the game. Though I did a bunch of the mining and stuff. The map's always the same, so I know where stuff is. Sorry, I'm ranting. Yes, I know way too much about this game, and what's hilarious is that I'm not I don't know everything, right? There is people that if you get on the TechIt is the launcher that you get Blightfall through. If you get on the TechIt Discord, there's a Blightfall channel. The guys in the Blightfall channel know far more than I do. But even still, this was one of my first introductions into Thumbcraft, and one of the things that really got me into trying to mod my own mod packs. And I've played lots and lots of my own mod packs and lots of official mod packs over the years, because Blightfall really set me off on trying to play more of those. I did like Technic back in the day, which is one of the big main packs of Technic. But anyways, so yeah, Blightfall's a great mod pack. I don't think I've seen anything that's even close to the same level ever before or after Blightfall. Blightfall is super cool because it's this massive map with all these different automation mods that interlink, and the task you have at hand is to clean off the purple from the entire map, which is pretty crazy. And so it's got the story-driven aspect that combines automation and progression and they have some cool nuances to how that operates. They've done some cool balancing that I think is in it, and again, because it's a map, there's stuff to discover and explore and understand about the world. So yes, it's a map-centered mod pack with lore, which is super cool. And again, I don't think I've ever found a mod pack that's quite like that has its own map that is that detailed and that complicated and that well thought out. So I love Blightfall. I highly recommend it if anyone wants to play Blightfall. It is it's 20 or 21 versions out of date now, because it's 1.7.10. But so it's a very different game, but it's still one of my favorite mod packs. So I probably ought to wrap up here. But yeah, so next time hopefully we can start into getting lots of mana and hopefully start picking up the wool production, getting lapis, and building out further into building more pillars of infinite resource, which we will use to do all sorts of shenanigans. So be a lot of fun. So yeah, thanks people for coming and hanging out. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and saying hi. So thanks Explorer of Music, Gentleworks, and Dragon all for hanging out with us today. It's really great again to have people who enjoy this. I know it's a little bit of a weird kind of a stream because, you know, I don't generally talk too much, so it's like a music game stream. It's weird. So I appreciate that people enjoy it and think it's interesting. So yeah, hopefully we'll have stream tomorrow, and that's all I got. So I'm gonna wrap up. Until next time, folks. See ya.